to at the very beginning, but we are live. Check this out. All right, what is up, everybody? And we are live. Welcome to another Pin to Gas podcast. And today is an absolute honor and special one. I got my man Shane from BSB, Barmy Army. A lot of you guys already know who he is, especially all my mates from across the pond. Mate, what is up?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you, Chris?
Listen, it's been a hectic day. We got to move out of our building work, so it's just been this utter chaos going on at work. So it's been keeping me busy for sure. But mate, you're on vacation, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm cold now. I arrived back at 2 a.m. this morning, so I'm tired and I'm cold, and I didn't really do a lot of prep for this, I got to be honest. And yeah, I'm just cold, man. I still got a taste for the beer, but other than that, I'm good. I'm looking forward to getting back to things, getting home and getting back to things.
I love it, man. I love it. And what you do, Shane, is absolutely amazing. Like it's one of the best things I've ever seen for everybody in the sport. But we'll get into that here in a minute, man. So Shane, what got you into motorcycles to begin with?
You know, I don't really know. I can remember when I was a real tiny kid, 2 or 3, sitting on the tank of my old man's bike and being ridden around all sorts of areas and country roads in Cornwall where I come from. And I don't know, I've always had a passion for it. And then years later, I met up with John Doughty, that's one of the admins in the group. And he kind of reignited it 20 years ago, I guess. And yeah, from there, I bought my first sort of legal road bike, if you like, big bike through him. And I've just loved it ever since. And I'm really lucky. I met my wife, and just by chance, her family are all massive BSB fans and have been for decades. So there was this big group of us that just kept growing and growing, going to the bikes, camping there for weekends, and you know, just getting pissed and having a good laugh, really, and watching the bikes. And yeah, and then I got really lucky. You know, last year, happened to just volunteer to do a weekend with the Haslams, and that turned into a full season. And yeah, I met a lot of people, and that opened a lot of doors and gave me access to do what we're doing now, really, which is just, it was never planned, put it that way. You know, the Facebook group was originally started just for people to follow my pal Stephen and I around the BSB last year and see what we got up to. And we decided to do a charity fundraiser. And then from there, we just sort of, after being in the paddock for a year, you can see how hard some of these younger lads and girls are working to be there every weekend. And there's no way we could have raised a lot of money and given it to one person. But we kind of looked at it and said, look, why don't we raise funds and buy products for people as they need them and try and help a lot of people with a little rather than helping one person with a lot. And that's what we decided to do. And to be honest, we couldn't have done it without the generosity from the paddock, because the initial raffle started, you know, with the likes of PBM, FS3, you know, completely motorbikes, the Haslams. Just every team in the paddock stepped up and said, have this, have this, have this. And I think our first raffle had something like 50 or 60 really decent prizes in there. You know, Peter Hickman signed visor and so on and so forth. And so we raised a lot of money off of that, and it was over and above what we expected. So from there, really, the Castle Care Rider Support Fund was born, and it's grown from there. You know, we Castle Care came on as a season sponsor. They're looking to possibly put some more money into the fund a little later into the season as well, and it's been really good. I mean, you can imagine there's been a huge influx of applications for funding, and you know, we don't have an endless pot, so we have to sort of pick and choose. We've got our own little system that we use between the 3 trustees, and you know, we try and carefully select the right people to fund, and we want to help as many as we can. You know, we've got a bit of an issue at the moment. We're trying to set up so that we can fund for tyres, because that's a major issue in the paddock. But it's not as easy. You can't just set that up and pay for things up front. It's not that straightforward. So we're working through that with Pirelli at the moment and trying to get that in place. But yeah, it's been great, man. Listen, we started out as a couple of bike fans last year. It's developed into something. I'm sitting on your podcast now. We're doing a podcast with Dave Neal, hopefully live from Alton or one of the rounds this year, which is going to be really good. We've opened, like I say, we've opened a lot of doors. We've got the potential to have a stand at every BSB round. We've got the bike coming in that's going to be raffled off throughout the year as well. And everybody who has stepped up has stepped up. We've had so many companies contact us and ask if they can donate things to us, which kind of shows the passion for the sport behind the scenes. And it's just been amazing, man. Honestly, we've really enjoyed the journey so far, but we want to try and use this as a sort of foundation year. And if we can get through this year and get a real big sponsor on board for next year is the plan, and try and grow from there and see where we can go with it.
Yeah, listen, what you've done in the past year or so, it's absolutely amazing. We all know, maybe some of the listeners don't know, but how expensive our sport really is, right? And the sacrifices that mama and pops do to help, realize that their son or their daughter's dreams, right? And anything helps and everything helps. It's absolutely amazing. Big applaud. Absolutely. Much love. Yeah, it's dude, we need more people like you and organizations here within our sport in general, to help.
I can't say any more than that, Chris. Really, it's the sport. I feel the sport is, or in fact, we feel, the team feel that the sport is at risk of outpricing itself from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because every year it becomes more expensive. And these guys, I mean, I met a rider last year in one of the support classes. I won't name any names, but I know his parents remortgaged their entire house for him to race.
Yeah.
If the parents are willing to put that much commitment into their kid, okay, us supplying a £600 pair of boots or £1,000 set of leathers isn't going to make the world a difference to them, but it makes a difference. And if we don't have that younger generation coming through the ranks, we don't have any Glenn Irwins, we don't have any Tommy Bridewells, Shane Burns. They're all gone. That's where they come from. So anything we can do to try and help that and alleviate pressure from any of them in any way can only be a good thing.
Listen, absolutely. I couldn't agree even more. I try to do everything I can on my end too, right? So my story is kind of similar to you, right? Like I never envisioned in a million years I'd be sitting here doing a podcast, right? I was actually invited onto this actual podcast as a guest, and we did race reviews at the very beginning, and I was like, man, why don't we, get the riders on? And of course they're like, let's go after Jake Gagne and all that. I was like, nah, we need to do Junior Cup, right? The kids up and coming, the people that are 10th and back on the grid in every class there is, right? Because there's people out there, like you said, dude, second mortgages on a house, parents going through divorces, just all this stuff, trying to realize a dream. And people don't realize what goes on, and there's a lot that goes on, and but here we are, and it's absolutely amazing. Actually, we got some comments coming in. Of course, Jake Marsh, my man. What is up, Jake, dude? He says, hey, hi, Jake. Guys. Yep. And then we got Craigo Harris, my man. What is up, mate? And then we got dude, Craigo. Absolutely, he's awesome.
Been a massive influence for us and a real big help behind the scenes, and not a lot of people know that. So Craigo deserves a big shout out. I'm actually headed out to Spain with him for the first round as well, so I'm looking forward to that, because I've not met him face to face yet, so it'll be good.
Nice. Well, I actually met him at Cadwell. He actually sent me a message. He's like, I was working with Harley Pebble, man. I had the pink hair on. I was like, yes, I remember. Yes, I do, dude. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And we've been chatting it up ever since. Absolutely amazing guy Craigo is, for sure. And then we got Georgia Smart, Finn Whedon's mom. What is going on? She said, what you guys have achieved. Yes, dude, she is absolutely amazing. She says, what you guys have achieved in a short time is amazing. I look forward to having a great year with you guys.
Yeah, we look forward to it as well, man. And Georgia, I did get your message. I will get back to you as soon as I can. As I said earlier on, I don't know if you were here. I didn't get back till 2 a.m. this morning, so I will get back to you the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Michael Bowles, what is up, man? He said, great work, guys.
Thank
Good
you, Michael.
stuff, man. Yes, absolutely. You know, so when the BSB Barmy Army, who come up with the name? I gotta know.
I think it was me actually, because initially, so it started out with myself and Stephen Thomas, one of the other admins. Stephen works a lot, so you don't see him a lot on the group, but he does a lot behind the scenes for us when he's not at work. And yeah, I think in England we have the Barmy Army that follows the cricket team all over the world, and because the whole idea initially was just Steve and I going around and having a few beers and watching the bikes, we kind of said, yeah, that's a good name, suits, everyone in Britain knows it, so we'll just chuck a BSB on the front, and that'll fit nicely.
Absolutely. Dude, we got my man Luca Allen up in the house. What is up, Luca? And then, of course, the legend himself, Luke Hedger. Bro, what is up, mate? Absolutely. Yeah, dude, brilliant guys. Dude, I had so much fun. And I tell everybody, everybody already knows BSB has been my favorite race organization, always has been. And I catch a lot of shit sometimes from my people over here in America, right? So like, you're American, you know, all this. I'm like, bro, you just everybody's different, right? I'm not saying that Moto America is any less than BSB or Moto GP. It's the fact that the Superbike, man, they don't run any electronics, right? And the tracks are actually closer to the American tracks too, as well, with the exception, of course, Cadwell Park.
And of course, the BSB is the best domestic series in the world.
Listen, it absolutely it is. I can't agree. I mean, I do agree 110%. It's I'll never forget the first time I watched it. I was like, dude, this is absolutely nuts. Like, these guys are just amazing, right? And then yeah, I ended up hooking up with Dave Neal, which is a great mate of mine. I got his t-shirt hanging up right here. Yeah, and that's how I ended up coming out there to Cadwell Park, was all because of him. And it's been yeah, just absolutely amazing time. I tell everybody it's the best race weekend I've ever done in my life. It is different. So the atmosphere is different, right? So if you've ever been in a MotoGP race, the atmosphere is different than BSB, different than Moto America, different than World Superbike. But what I found more BSB actually being there is everybody's just as welcoming, but it's just a different energy. Like, everybody's into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First practice, second practice, third practice, qualifying. Everybody's like, yes, let's go. All this stuff, right? Where in other series, it's more like golf, right? Everybody's like, a lot of the people, you know, you don't hear no screaming, no yelling, you know, people got shirts on and all that, but I'm the fool running around the paddock, you know, let's go, what's up? It's nice to meet you, what an honor, you know, all this stuff. And to me, it's you guys are just a bunch of amazing people. Like, Shane, I thought that flying out there all by myself, not knowing, well, I'm not gonna say I didn't know anybody, because I knew my man Daniel Parker, which is a rider mindset coach. What's up, Daniel? He actually works with Finn and Caden Wilkinson. He just signed on. My man Jake Marsh. He's been working not Luke Hedger, but anyway, he's been working with a lot of them. And I thought I'd get homesick, right? Being out there all by myself. Dude, I felt nothing. I actually felt like I was at home. I didn't even want to leave. Like, I told my wife we should sell our house and move out here. And she's like, you better bring your ass home, right? So
But that's the beauty of the BSB paddock, isn't it? It's open to everybody. You know, it doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what you leave at home when you get there. Everybody in that paddock is, well, 99% of people in that paddock will welcome you in, sit down, have a coffee, have a beer, and they've got time. The riders have time to speak to people, and they make the time to speak to people, and that, I think, is what makes it really special to have the trackside spectator numbers that they have. I mean, what's the television viewing? Something like 44 million, you know, across several countries. I think there's anywhere between 30 to 50,000 spectators at most rounds, and I think the record stands at about 126,000 Brands Hatch for a round. You know, that's a huge domestic audience, huge, and it's the riders that make that happen. And things like this, you know, because we're in the off season hasn't started yet, but people can still be involved with what's going on in the run up to the season start. And that's what makes it really, really special for me, I think.
yeah, dude, it's been It's absolutely amazing. It really is. And I can't wait. So everybody that's listening, the season starts April, was it 6th? April 6th is the first race weekend for
The
BSB.
test.
Yeah. Okay.
Darlington test.
The test. Yeah. And so I always tell everybody, Bennett's BritishSuperbike.com. You can watch it live. You can watch it free. They also have a TSL. It's called TSL. It's a live timing that actually has commentary, which is brilliant, right? So if
The TFL, it's brilliant.
TSL. So if you have trouble actually broadcasting or getting it to, watch it live, you can, put on TSL, and every practice, every session, it's and one thing that stood out to me too, as far as BSB is, man, on Friday there was a bunch of people there. Saturday there was a bunch of people. Of course, Sunday race day, it was actually on Monday. It was Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're out here in Moto America. You show up on a Friday, there's hardly anybody there, right? There's a few nuts like me running around, but the most people show up on, usually it's Sunday, because that's the actual race day, right, for the big boys. But it's I love two-wheel racing, absolutely, and TT is my favorite, absolutely my favorite. But listen, enough about all that. Benny Grayson's in that house. What is up, Benny? So BSB Barmy Army, you guys help fund riders coming up in the class. Who come up with this idea? Like, how did all that actually originate?
I think it kind of was self-born. We did it, like I said, we did a raffle to raise some funds for a mental health charity initially, and we smashed that out of the park. We sold I think 200 tickets in like 4 days, and none of us expected that. So we had a conversation, and off the back of spending a year in the paddock last season, we kind of just saw what went on. Our eyes were opened a lot to the struggles of a lot of these lads and dads, if you like. And so we said, look, we've got an opportunity to raise some more money. Why don't we just raise some extra funds and give it to a rider? And that developed then into, well, let's not stop at one rider. Let's do some more and see if we can run a few more raffles, see if we can get a sponsor on board. And we've managed to do all of those things and still continue to do those things, But like I said, it all comes from the paddock. Without the paddock, without the fans, none of it would happen, obviously. But the paddock is where it starts, because that's where we get 90% of the stuff that's donated to us to raffle off. We've got a raffle being launched on the 20th, and there's some great prizes in there. Knock Hill Circuit have just given us some free tickets for the weekend to raffle off. We've got Jake Marsh's signed leathers. We've got an old helmet, I think from the TT, actually. I think the helmet is, and that's signed by all sorts of names and signatures on that. I think there's some more John McGuinness signed pictures and stuff. So it's another raffle that will go out, and every time we drain the pot a bit, we try and balance it so that we're just keeping the pot at the same sort of stature all the way through the season. And then at the end of the year, we need to empty it before April for the tax man. To make sure we haven't got anything left in there. But we're hopeful that by the time we get into the paddock with this thing, we've sold a lot of merchandise, and with a lot of teams behind us as well. JDR Racing, Elmec Racing, whose shirt I'm wearing because mine's not clean because I've just come back from holiday. But these guys, they're all carrying our logo. Our name should, I think, be everywhere you look in the paddock, pretty much, and we're hoping that's going to build a trend through the season. So that by the time we get to sort of August, we'll start working on next season's sponsorship, and hopefully hoping to bring in a couple of big sponsors for next season, to be honest, and be in a position where instead of giving away £500-600 at a time, we can be in a position to do £1,000 or £2,000 at a time, and really make a difference to everyone that we're helping. But yeah, so sorry, I digress because I do like to chat, but that's how it was all born anyway.
No, yeah, listen, it's dude, this digress all you want. I love to chat all things about motorcycles, especially the sport and part of it that people don't understand. And Benny Grayson, you're right. Big respect. The prices are losing talent from the sport. There's, I'm sure there's thousands of Valentino Rossi's, Mark Marquez's, John McGuinness's that will never make it because of the simple fact of money. Every year, like you said, the cost goes up so much, and it's so hard for one, in this day and age, to find sponsorships. I mean, let's just be honest, right? It's like, how can I explain this? It's like everybody's fishing in the same pond, right?
Yeah,
But the
absolutely.
pond's only got so many fish that they can hand out. And of course, a lot of it goes to the already known names of the sport, right? When the matter of fact is, they've been there, they made it, they got the trophy, they got the house, they got the wife, but we need to focus on the younger talent coming up through this sport, right? We need to find a way to where, man, the cost of it's not so much to get into to begin with. It's just, dude, it's crazy. Like, you go even here in Moto America, Shane, it's like you go to, even in Junior Cup, the 400cc bikes, right? You're spending, I don't know, $2,000 a weekend on tires, $1,500. That's just the tire bill, right? And then you got to travel to get there. Of course, here in America, we got to travel, especially from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's one thing you guys got going for you. You can get across the whole UK in 6 hours. Shoot, 6 hours from my house, I could be in New Jersey, and I can be in Atlanta. 10 hours, a little bit over 10 is Florida for Daytona. But if I was going to go to like Texas or California to Laguna Seca, that's a 3-day drive.
Jeez, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all relative wherever you are in the world, I think. But I mean, talking of funding and accessing funding. So I think for me personally, I think there should be some sort of non-profit body, if you like, that gets investment through things. So in this country, the National Lottery, for example, invest in different sports programs, etc. So that sort of thing. And Sport England, there should be a governing body, if you like, that's non-profit, that can gather all those funds in and offer the support out. If you look at Spain and the youngsters in Spain, the support they've got out there is unreal.
Yeah.
If you could bring 50% of that to the UK, it would make such a difference to the sport in general, not just the youngsters. It would make a huge difference to the sport. And so we're a tiny little fish. We're an acorn, and hopefully in 2 or 3 years, I might be back here and we might be talking about the oak tree that it's grown into. But that's the hope and the prayer, mate. But it's a lot of hard work. It takes up a lot of time. I'm going to say this is going to sound really backward, but I'm really fortunate at the moment. I had an injury before Christmas, which laid me up, and I was supposed to have surgery and all sorts of stuff. And so at the minute I'm not working. I can't go back to work until, I think I'm off until July. So I've had a lot of time to put into this, and which is why you guys see me so active more than anybody else, but it does mean that it's become a full-time job, pretty much. It's a full-time job. And what can you do? Because if I don't do that full-time part of it, it doesn't happen. And that's not to take away from any of the other admins, especially John. John is in the same position as me at the moment. He's off work with an injury, and that's been for a couple of months. So it was great to get him on board. His input's really good as well. And he's your man to talk to about the TT, because I don't think I've ever met anyone that enjoys the TT more than this guy. And yeah, like I say, he kind of reignited the flair for bikes when he frightened the shit out of me on the back of his RSV Millie in the back road to Cornwall. But yeah, it's been a good ride so far, Chris. I'm sure we're going to hit some hiccups. We're just getting the BSB Barmy Army formed into a legal entity, if you like, a company, a non-profit company. That's in the process. What drives me mad, we can't register as a charity because the Charity Commission in England don't recognise motorsports as a sport. And that, I can't get my head around that. So
Yeah.
there's other avenues we've had to go down to get that done. And it will take some time, but that will be put in place. And so hopefully, things are slowly building into something that's a bit more stable rather than just a few guys that like the bikes trying to raise some money. And we've got a lot of other avenues we're looking at for revenue as well. But as I say, the main plan is really to get through this season and then start in sort of August time to push for some big sponsors for next year.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same, right? I got a big support system here that helps me, right? Not so much as funds, because it's podcasting is like motorcycle racing. I pay to podcast. I don't get paid to podcast, right? And it's an absolutely full-time job. A lot of people don't realize. Yeah, it looks simple. I make it look simple. I jump on here, we talk, we get off, but there's so much work that goes in behind the scenes. to make it happen just to begin with. And the communication, not so much here in the United States, but especially over there where you guys are, it's setting it up, talking, video chats, phone chats, and a lot of times a lot of people don't realize, man, a lot of stuff gets rescheduled and reshuffled around here and there just because you guys get busy with testing and team meetings and all this other stuff that goes on. So it's it's absolutely a full-time job.
I see you, man. I see you on Facebook and other socials, and we talk, and I know how busy you are, man. But your passion for it's great. So I think as long as you got that passion, it's a full-time job, but it's a full-time job that you wouldn't be without.
I would absolutely couldn't imagine my life not doing it anymore, right? Like last week, so like at work, we're getting ready to move. So man, we got a lot going on. So I can't leave work to do podcasts during the day anymore, right? So now I've been going through my calendar, rescheduling, reshuffling all this stuff to do it either after work or move it to the weekend, sometimes 2 on the weekend and all this other stuff. It's yeah, man, it's absolutely been flat out. But my wife, she supports me wholeheartedly. Of course, my son does, my mom and my dad, and without them, it would be really difficult to
for sure,
to
definitely
do it for sure.
Excuse me.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. Jake Marsh says, loving how big BSB Barmy Army is getting. So grateful for the support. Dude, Jake Marsh is absolutely. Listen, another thing, Club 45. I know Jake's got some spots left. You guys listening, go join Club 45 right now. Help him out. Finn Wheaton's got one too. Go join his. All these guys need help. Absolutely, because the sport's so expensive. And love it.
To follow from that, Chris, just to say for anyone that thinks that these Club 45s, Club 25s, whatever, if you think that £45, that £50 doesn't make a difference, it makes a huge difference. You're part of a bigger thing, and all those £45, £50 make a massive difference to these guys. So, and any of these guys, by the way, they can feel free to post their clubs up on the Barmy Army group. Obviously, help yourself, knock yourself out. And if you want to get an application in, go to the website, get one in, and if we can help you, we will.
Absolutely. Same thing. Pin the gas. Anybody wants to throw it on Pin the Gas or my personal, have at it, because I support everybody. That's one thing that when I decided that I was really going to do the podcast like 100%, right? Not just race reviews, but get people on. I wanted to make a difference, right? I wanted to help everybody out as much as I can. Not the big name guys, because I already, like I said that previously, they got the house and the wife and the trophy and all the big sponsorships behind them already, right? So they're not. Yeah. I'm sure they work hard at getting new sponsorship in, but I'm sure, let's just say, for example, Glenn Irvin, right? I'm not saying he don't have to work hard to get them, but it's different versus Jake Marsh trying to get a full sponsorship versus Glenn, right? Because he's a well-known name, he's race winner and all this other stuff. So there's a lot to be said with that. And you're right. Every dime, pound, nickel, and penny absolutely helps. It's very important for us to bring the young, talented riders up through our sport to help them realize their dream, because without them, we wouldn't see any more racing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And we don't want that. That's not what I want. That's not what Shane wants. And that's what everybody listening and watching or around the world, you guys don't want that, right? So we need to, I feel it important that the structure of the sport needs to change a little bit.
100% agree with that.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And I don't know where that's going to come from. I mean, it's got to come from the top. Maybe they need new outside people in and to change it. I have no idea. But we really need to change the way we go about getting people in the sport and helping them out for sure. If not, we'll turn on the telly and not have any road racing anymore, right? And what's the point of living if I can't watch two wheels?
There are some big names out there, Chris, that really do support the sport. I'm going to give them a plug. Completely Motorcycles.
Absolutely.
They're not on board with us financially. They sponsor FS3 this year, and that's their commitment, which is great. But Rob Rob contacted me and said, look, let's put a bike night together. We can do this. We raised 30K at the last one. Let's run a bike night for the Barmy Army. And then we've reached out to people. We have a live band coming for that. We've got some of the teams coming down. RD are going to be there, actually bring their bikes down. I think Elmec are coming with their bikes. We've got FS3 themselves are coming. Lee Jackson, our ambassador, he's going to be there as well. So we're going to do some live Q&As and stuff. We're going to have an auction there and sell some bits off. We're going to launch the Barmy Army bike there. So it's going to be a big night, that 15th of May at Hinckley at Completely Motorbikes. So be great to see everybody there. The more faces, the better, obviously. But yeah, my point is that there are people like Rob out there that they have that passion for bikes and they're in a position that they can help, and they do. And Rob goes over and above. He's a great guy as well. So yeah, just a quick plug for Rob because he's helping us a lot as well.
Yeah, we need all the help we can, not just in BSB, but America and World Super Sport. I mean, the list goes on and on. I wish I had some help and funding in my area, right? Which I don't. Yeah, I don't. If people ask me like, dude, do you make money doing this? Absolutely not. I'm like a racer. I pay to do it, but what I get is I get help, right? So like I get. Like Jake Marsh, they run my logo on their bikes and their leathers, right? The whole RD team. I got my man Plug Martin from the Clothing Kings that makes all the Pin the Gas podcast merch, and I don't ask for anything. I don't ask for money. To me, it's an absolute honor and a privilege, to have people love you and support you. Same. I know you feel that the same, Shane. You started it and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, like. Yeah, we can do something here. We can make a change. Yeah.
You certainly got the opportunity to. Whether that comes to fruition, a lot of that I think depends on other people. But the more power, not power is the wrong word, the more sway you get with the right people, it opens more doors. And we do have some big stuff coming up. We potentially are going to be in a very good position in a few months, but I don't want to say too much about it because it's not written in stone yet. So they keep that under wraps. But yeah, potentially things are heading in a very good direction. Like I say, getting Lee Jackson on board as well was mega for us. And Lee jumped at the opportunity when I asked him, and he's a really nice guy around the paddock as well. Like I say, he's coming to the bike night, so you can get down there and get your photo taken with him and have a chat and ask him questions live, man, and just put him on the spot. That's what it's all about, right. To put people in a position where they can be face to face with riders. And I think it makes a big difference where they can interact with riders that they wouldn't normally be able to interact with on that level. And so hopefully, that's going to be a big fundraiser for us as well, I think. So yeah, we're always thinking ahead. We're always planning ahead and trying to think of outside the box of the next thing we can sort of push forward. We started a membership as well, a monthly membership. We've had a good few people sign up to that as well. And all these things offer you different discounts on merch and that sort of stuff. But I mean, the main bottom line of it is if you're paying your £10 a month for a membership, every month that £10 is helping somebody somewhere in the paddock. And that's, just so we're clear, myself, John, the other admins, we don't take a penny out of any of this. Obviously, we're totally not profit, and every penny that comes in goes. The only money that's not spent in the paddock is spent on things like your stickers and so on and so forth. But every penny is used for the Riders Fund. So it's like I say, and I keep saying it, but hopefully we can get to a point where we've got a couple of decent sponsors on for next season, and we've really grounded ourselves and got some foundations to work from off the back of this season, and we can be in a position to help a lot of riders, but with a little bit more than we've done this year. So that's the plan, and there isn't really any more to say about it because that's the end goal. That's where we're headed. So we just got to keep pushing.
Yeah, listen, I'm in the same boat. I want to help as many people as I can in whatever way I can, right? And I've thought about how could I help riders more here in America. Like I'd love to be able to start something like you started out there for the BSB guys here in America, a fundraiser, a nonprofit. I don't want anything from it. I don't even want to get recognition for it, right? I mean, I want to be behind the scenes, and I want to help everybody out as much as I can.
Do it, man. I'll build your website for you and get you up and running. And,
absolutely.
Why not? AMA Barmy Army. Go for it.
Listen, let's do it, dude. We can name it that. Moto America Barmy Army. I'm in, but we'll have this conversation. Absolutely. Yes, we will. It would be, Yeah, it'd be good stuff, man. I always want to give back to the sport as much as it's given to me. I've been such a fan of the sport for such a long time, and I just want to do everything I can to help everybody out that I can. You know what I mean? I think it's very important. Um, it's and it's also an honor and a privilege to be able to do that. And I don't, like I said, I don't ask for anything from anybody. You know, all this stuff that people send me, they send me because they want to send it to me, and I wear it and I put it on the podcast and help everybody out. I think it's the sport's given back to me as much as I've given it to it, right? Already. It's been
100%.
absolutely amazing. The ride so far has just been sometimes I really don't know what to say. Like I get lost because I just it's such an honor. You know what I mean? It's like I
think
just don't know.
we've all taken from it, haven't we, for years? We've all loved
Yeah.
it for years. So we've all taken from it for years. So if we can give a little bit back, and I guess some people kind of think if they're buying their tickets and go and watching it, they're giving back, and they are to some degree. But those funds aren't going to the riders to help them. So if you can give a little bit back, even if it is just £10 a month, it makes such a massive difference. You think if we had, I don't know, 200 people sign up to our memberships at £10 a month, that's a couple of grand a month that you can be giving out to riders, and that keeps things consistent, and it keeps the fun going, and it gives people a hub that they know they can go to if they're in a desperate situation. So every penny counts is, I guess, what I'm trying to say, and it doesn't matter where you're putting it in. Every penny counts.
It absolutely it does. So when people buy the race tickets, the tickets don't go to any of the teams, any of the funds. That's helping the track. You're paying to rent the track is what it is.
Essentially.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. So it don't go to any rider, any team, any of that. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. What you do, and I remember when I first seen you on Facebook, I was like, BSB Barmy Army, what is this about? And I got to digging on the website. I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And that's when I reached out to you. I was like, bro, we got to have a chat for real. Like it's absolutely. And so you was in the paddock last year. So you was at Cadwell when I was there.
Yes, man, I would have been there.
Nice,
100%.
man. I don't see how me and you didn't run into. I'm sure we probably saw each other at one point because I was running around there like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I was working. I was busy anyway. In fact, I wasn't there I went home on the Sunday. I had to come home. It was my daughter's birthday, so I left early. I came home on the Sunday. So I had quite a good weekend because I didn't actually have to work that much that weekend. So it was, I got to watch a lot of racing. I was down the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend when Danny Buchan came off and hit the pit lane entrance.
Dude, I was standing right there. Yeah.
Were you?
Yes.
Well, that's exactly where I was. I was literally right in front of the pit lane entrance there, and yeah, that was a nasty one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, glad to see he was okay after anyway. But yeah, so we were within touching distance, mate.
Yeah, it's funny because the story real quick. When I left, I had actually reached out to Jake Marshall. Was like, Jake, bro, I need to get you on the podcast, right? And his reply was not exact words, but he's like, yeah, mate, absolutely. My dad was actually standing right next to you at the mountain because I had my Insta360 camera. I was taking videos, and I was like, well, why didn't he say anything, right? Like, and then that's how that whole me and Jake Marsh actually got together and collaborated. But yeah, it's just it's listen, I'm a firm believer if it's meant to be, it'll be, right?
Yeah, man.
But you got to put in the work and the effort too, right? You can't just sit around and expect it to happen. But if it's meant to be and you're putting in the work, it's absolutely going to happen. But yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. It's been, and I know it has been for you too, because I see everything you do for everybody, and it's
mate, I've loved it. I've just been in the sun for a week with the family, mate, but I've missed it. It's good to be back on British soil, and over the next couple of days, I'll get myself back into a routine again. But it's been amazing, mate. Honestly, like I say, the generosity that people have met. These guys, Georgia, sorry, just now. Amazing what you're doing. It's not. We don't do it for the praise and the compliments, but it is nice to hear because when you get that back from people, that feedback's coming back. You know what you're doing is making a difference, and that's all we're trying to do, is just make that bit of difference. And like I said, take a bit of pressure off of the riders, off their families, and just try and help out wherever we can. Essentially, whether it be £100 or £500, it's a lump of money that they haven't got to find from somewhere else.
No, you're absolutely right. I actually sent Jake. I sent Jake and his dad some. I had some Ricardo Rossi signed posters that I donated. I had some signed knee sliders from Loris Baz and that I sent out there for them to auction off. Just whatever I can, dude. If I got it, I don't need it. I can get more, right? I'll willingly send it off to help fund anybody or any team at all. It's a huge deal, especially in the younger categories and all them coming up.
Yeah,
It's not cheap. The sport is not cheap. So out here in Moto America, so we have the Junior Cup, which is the 400cc like ninjas.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
basically the best 400cc you can get. So typically on a weekend, I mean, the top 400cc teams and their bikes, man, they had roughly about $20,000 in a 400cc machine. You got, and then you got the tires and the travel, and it's even our beginner class is so expensive. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It really is. And when I learned you guys had a CB 350 class or CB 500 class, right?
CB 500, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a brilliant class because that's a great form of well, nothing's cheap in racing, but cheaper.
But it's a cheaper option. Yeah.
Right. And you still get the same thrills and all that, but people that really want to make a name for themselves and move up in the category, you go obviously the 400. Yeah. And then you got to go, the 600, whether you do a 600 or you buy a GP2 bike or super stock or whatever it is. It's the higher you go up, the more expensive it is. Right.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's absolutely magical, man. Dude, I love it, Shane. I'm so happy you're sitting here, and it was such an honor to finally meet you, man. Because people listen, me and Shane's been talking for months. This is not something that just happened. We've been actually, behind the scenes, which is amazing. And I love doing this. And this is not the first podcast I want to have you on. I'd love to have you back on again. And
yeah, absolutely, man. And the honor's ours, man. Honestly, we're just 3 or 4 blokes who got together, who love motorbike racing, and it's turned into something. And being invited on for podcasts and things is mega for us. We're mixed in amongst it all instead of just sitting on the outside watching it. And at the same time, we're helping people, and people are grateful, and the fans are loving it, and the fans are fantastic too, because without them and their funds coming in for raffles and prizes and everything else, we wouldn't be able to do any of it. So it's the pleasure is definitely all mine, mate.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it, man. So what does last year, 2023, you guys did a mega job. Did you guys achieve all your goals that you had set out for 2023?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when it all started, I don't want to, most people know this, but essentially I lost both of my sisters, younger and older, within 6 weeks of each other. And that was a massive eye-opener for me, a real big eye-opener. And so my friend and I, Steve, we sort of said, let's go do the full season, every race. We'd never done every track throughout the year. So that's why we committed to it. And then, like I say, we did the first test at Donington, which was awful, freezing, blowing its tits off and horrible. And then we got the opportunity to go and help Haslam's at Silverstone, and it just snowballed from there. And so we went through the year last year. We I'd say we achieved everything we set out to achieve. We went to every round. We worked at them all, so we didn't get to see as much bike racing as we'd like to, because we'd like to sit there on the banks from Friday to Sunday evening. But we didn't get to do that. But it was a different way to see it from inside the paddock. And we met a lot of people that have turned into, I'd like to refer to them as friends, not just acquaintances or people that I know. And everybody's just been so kind to us, and I think it's turned a tragedy for me into something really positive. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity, I guess, when they have a loss. So for me personally, it's been a real big adventure, but it's helped me a lot as well. You know, the whole of last year, I don't think I would have got through the year without the paddock. And I know it sounds really cheesy, but that's kind of how it is. And it's just grown into this beast that we've got now, which is and continues to grow, which makes it even better. You know, because coming from a memory of two family members, this is always going to mean more to me, I think, than anybody else, because that's where it's come from on a personal level.
Yeah. No, listen, I can't agree more. It's Two Wheels have saved me many times, right? I just don't know what to say about Two Wheels. It's especially mental state of mind for me. It's very, very important. It's a big part of my life, always has been, and it's how I get through day to day, especially doing this podcasting with great friends and mates like you, right? And since then, you know, I would love to continue to work together. Obviously, we will. I need to actually. I want to start running your logo on my Pin to Gas shirts too, as well, to help to support you guys as much as I can over here and across the pond over here in America too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love it, man. I would love to be able to collab even more than that, come up with some type of idea or something. We will and help to push it even further along. I would love to be absolutely part of the journey. Let's
do it, man. We'll come up with some sort of idea. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, we will, man. And listen, dude, time goes by. Dude, we're already like almost 50 minutes in this podcast. Seems like we just started. That's what I love about podcasts, man. It's absolutely, especially when you're sitting down with good mates and like-minded people that have the same love and passion for the sport. It just makes it. I say mega in honor. Like when I meet people now, Shane, I don't say, "Hey, man, what's up? How you doing? It's nice to meet you." I say, what an honor it is to meet you, right? I think that's the best compliment you can give anybody. Our life is so short. I just want to be happy all the time and put out just nothing but positive energy, as everybody knows that's ever met me before. And it's an honor, absolute honor to be sitting here talking to you and everybody else that I've ever had on. It's absolutely crazy. And Craig O'Harris, my mate, he says, it's been amazing meeting you, Shane. As you know, we have been going through our own battles at home, and having you to chat on the phone has been amazing. You're a top bloke, and I look forward to Spain.
Yeah, me too, Grego. And I hope things are improving at home for you. But yeah, definitely, man. We'll have a good crack in Spain.
Yeah, absolutely. Craigo, man, big shout out to him. He's always messaging me, and I'm always talking. And this goes to anybody listening to this. Listen, I'm not ashamed. I give my phone number out to everybody all the time. It's WhatsApp is 1-540-588-5562. Hit me up, call me, talk me, send me a message. I'm always down to talk. I'm always down to help people, especially on the mental side of things, right? It's something that our game is such a mental game, and it destroys people, you know. Our sport in general does, with the sponsorships. I'm not going to name no names, but I got a good mate that, you know, had a ride and at the last minute fell out. So he's going through this whole just mentally destroyed from it, you know, and I could see how that could mentally destroy somebody, you know, because you got plans already in effect, you know, you're counting on it and just all falls through at the last minute. And, yeah, but I want to help him out too.
I think I know who you mean, actually. I do think I know who you mean, and I've spoken to him. So yeah, we're looking at trying to do what we can do for him.
Good. But, you know who you are, mate. Good friend of mine, and nothing but love to you. And I always told you, stay positive, because it'll always work out at the end of the day, which it will. I have no doubt in my mind. Absolutely not. And then we got my man Mike Cook is in the house. So Mike Cook is a good buddy of mine, Shane. Dude, I've known Mike Cook since 1995 or 96. So we've been friends for a super long time. He is absolutely amazing guy. And then my man, Mike's super cool, man. And then Paul McKee, what is going on, mate? He's a good friend of mine too. He says, Moto I can't say that name. I'm not good speller, and sometimes I get tongue twisted there. Edith. Yeah, there you go. Good medicine. Cheers on all your efforts, Shane. Absolutely. Shane's a
Thank you,
proper
man.
mega. And then my man, Daniel Parker, which, dude, I love Daniel. He's a brother from another mother, right? He absolutely, he says many late night calls with Chris Simcoe. Absolutely, man. Me and Daniel are always on the phone together, which is great, man. It's all the love and support, man. I get from people, Shane, and I'm sure it's the same for you. Like, just simple messages mean so much, right? Like, hey, I love your podcast. What you're doing, you're just so different. This and that, just whatever it is. It's so encouraging. It's so mentally great for my mind, for Shane's mind, for the writer's mind. It's we love to hear that. We love to get all the positive feedback, and I even accept the negative feedback too, right? Because that also makes me looking within myself to see if I can improve by, negative comments. I don't really see them as a negative comment. I just see it as a, how do I want to say this? This is a motto that I love, Shane, is none of us are strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet. Okay.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, right? So I try to keep that. Yeah, I keep that even when I get negative feedback, right? I'm just like, hey, we're just a friend that hasn't physically met yet. But when you do, that'll absolutely turn around, right? But yeah, it's absolutely amazing what you do, man. I'm so proud of you and what you achieved. You and all three, you guys are just again, dude. Round of applause, Shane, bro. Shane Farrow in the house. BSB Barmy Army. I love it.
It'll make me go red in a minute, Chris.
Oh man, don't, man, mate. Listen, it's just me, dude. Hey, just giving you all the love you deserve and everything you guys have achieved. It's absolutely just amazing. And yeah, I have no issue standing in front of 10 million people and saying, "See this guy right here? You see this guy right here on this camera right here on the other side? Absolute top bloke, absolute amazing." So yeah, it's
thank you, man.
Dude, you are absolutely, and I can't wait to actually fly back out there and meet all you guys.
You're coming in 25, right?
Absolutely, I will be there in 20. So my game plan is I want to do the round before Cadwell and obviously Cadwell. And I've had a bunch of my friends over there like, oh, you need to go see this, you need to go see that, and I'm like, Cadwell's done. It's my favorite track. Like once I've been there, I have to go.
It's addictive,
back.
Man.
It is. The mountain course. There's nothing like it. And then listen, Shane, my man, Daniel Parker, I just told you the Rider Mindset coach. He said he actually wants to get together with you. So,
okay, yeah, Daniel, we get to speak to you, Daniel.
Yeah, well, what I'll do, Daniel, is I'll message him after this, and I'll just give him your contact info, and y'all can just chat. Yeah, absolutely. Craig O'Hara says, if I still got my race bike, Chris, you can take it around Cadwell. It's my local. Absolutely, Craig, and I'll take you up on that. Absolutely, 110%. It would be an absolute honor. It's like, dude, I met so many friends over there, mates that they're like, dude, when you come out here, you don't even get a hotel. You can just stay with me, right? And what an honor, dude. It's like, same thing goes for you, Shane. Same thing goes for all my mates out there in BSB that I've met. Anytime you guys want to come to America, you come to Roanoke, Virginia. What we say is my casa, you casa. My house is your house. Anything you want, you got beds, everything. I got you 110%. I'll take you out, show you Virginia and the mountains and all that cool stuff. And of course, Bud Light, right? Because my man Shane is drinking some Bud Light right now. Yeah, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
But you're welcome to stay with me anytime, Chris. But if you want to go to a race, and it's at least 5 hours drive to any track. So,
from where you are?
From where I live, yeah, man. I think my nearest track is Thruxton, which is 2.5. But outside of that, it's 4 or 5 hours to every track at least.
Well, I mean, listen, that's okay because I'll take you up on that and I'll come stay the night with you for sure one night. Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
We'll have some. Yeah, dude, we'll have a mega time for sure. So yeah, listen, dude, we're approaching on an hour, and I know it's late for you out there and all you guys. Way. I know. I don't want to keep you on here much longer.
No, listen, not at all, man. Not at all.
Everybody, there will definitely be a part 2, 3, 4, and 5 to this, and there's going to be so many more coming up with me, Pin the Gas, and BSB Barmy Army. So yeah, you guys just stay tuned for this. But before we give everybody all these shout outs, Shane, I want to ask you some personal questions that I ask everybody.
Go for
And
it.
this is actually my favorite part of the interview, right? Because I feel like, well, I just feel like it's important for people to when they listen to interviews, get to know you more on a personal level, not
Yeah,
just
for sure.
the racer, what he does, and all that snazzy jazz stuff that everybody else does. So yeah, so let's get into it, Shane. I am a big book. I'm not a book reader. I listen to a lot of audio books, right? Are you a book reader or listener?
Not at all. No, not at all. The most recent book I read was John Hopkins. I can't even remember the
Leathered.
And I would say probably the best autobiography I've ever read or listened to. I absolutely loved that book. But no, I'm not a big reader. I've got 3 kids, so I don't have a lot of time to sit down and have the peace to read, to be honest. But that fantastic book, if anybody hasn't read it, go out and buy it and read it. You'll thank me later for it.
Listen, I've read pretty much every autobiography as far as motorcycle racers are out there, right? Whether it's on audiobook or non-audiobook, I've read it because I'm such a nerd for the sport. But hands down, John Hopkins Leathered is the best autobiography I've ever read because he leaves nothing on the table.
It's such an eye opener, that book.
It's absolutely brilliant. It is. Craigo, my man Craigo again says, hoping to get Racing in Pink and BSB Barmy Army together at either Donington or Castle Combe this year. Absolutely, mate. It'll happen. Absolutely, it will. So music, Shane. I listen to, just you name it. I can listen to Bob Marley, some country, rap. I listen to everything depending on the mood. Do you have a preference of music that you actually listen to?
Guns N' Roses.
Dude, I love it. Guns N' Roses. Yeah,
love
it's good stuff, man.
Been with me my whole life.
Love it. Guns N' Roses is good. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So Star Wars or Star Trek?
Neither.
Okay. I find that a lot of my mates over there don't do neither. I'm a Star Wars nerd. I grew up, of course, that was
if I had to pick one, it would be Star Wars, but it's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, okay. Well, what kind of movies are you into then?
Again, it's not something I watch a lot of. I like comedy. Comedy movie.
Yeah.
Deadpool, man. Deadpool's one of the fucking best films I've ever seen.
Deadpool's fucking absolutely amazing, right? One of the best fucking, yes, dude, it is. And I can't wait for the new one to come out because I think it's Wolverine's going to be in it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's next month. It's released actually over here, or it might be out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is next month. Food, Shane. What kind of food are you into? I love spicy food, Indian food, Greek food, Italian, all that stuff. Do you have a personal? Of course, everybody, proper fish and chips from the UK and mushy peas and the curry is absolutely amazing.
I think seafood in general. I love seafood and I like spicy food, but not so much Indian. More like Malaysian and Thai.
I love Thai food. I've never had any Malaysian food. Is it kind of like Thai food?
Yeah, there's not a massive difference, but there's a place that does a Malaysian curry near where I live that's just outstanding. Best curry I've ever had.
Good. Can't wait to come out and go there and try it for myself. Yep. It's gonna be absolutely brilliant. So Shane, do you have a celebrity crush?
Mila Kunis.
Love it, dude. Right?
It's gotta be, isn't it?
That 70s show.
Oh, mate. Yeah. Anything with Mila Kunis in it, man. Ted.
Yeah, Ted. Yeah, dude. Ted was awesome. No, absolutely no black pudding for me. Daniel Parker. Absolutely not. So Daniel picks me up in London at Heathrow, right? And we go out for first full English breakfast. He's like, man, have you ever tried black pudding? I was like, no, but when in Rome, why not? Right. So they bring me this black pudding out and I get one big old bite. I get about 4 chews in it. And I was like, absolutely not, Daniel. This is not for me at all. Do you like black pudding, Shane?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I like black pudding. I don't like white pudding, but black pudding I love. I think a lot of people with black pudding get turned off when they find out what it is, don't they? So, but it's yeah, for me, I like it with a fried breakfast, definitely.
Yeah, so I didn't even ask Daniel what was in it. I was like, yeah, I was, you know, me as an American, I'm thinking black pudding. It's like, you know, your Jello black pudding. Yeah, absolutely, bring it on, right? It's absolutely nothing like
It's
that.
definitely not that.
Absolutely not. And then my other mates over there, they're like, I don't like black pudding. Try white pudding. I was like, you know what? I think all that puddings, I'm done with it, right? As far as that goes, like, yeah, I mean, I will. I take it back. I will try the white pudding next time I come out for sure. So let me ask you this: what advice would you give your younger self, Shane?
Ooh. Don't take life so seriously.
Facts, 100%, man. You know, I find too many people in this world take life way too serious, right? It's not that major, right? I feel like, so the way I mentally prepare myself for the podcast is I look at myself in the mirror and I have a conversation with myself, you know. It's just a way of me, I guess, breaking through my mental barrier, because I got a lot of bad ADHD, and I don't take no medicine for it. I don't take Advil, I don't take Tylenol, I don't believe in any of those medicines, right? um I I get anxiety, but before the podcast, it's like a buildup, right? Like right before you go to the race, it's all the journey getting there, and it's all the hype that goes along with it. So it's all this buildup, right? And a way for me to do that is I have a conversation. That's all good, you know. Pin the gas, let's go. BSB Barmy Army on today. We're gonna have such a proper mega time, you know, to hype myself up, and it don't go away until I physically sit down in this chair and I see you or any guest that's on here. And then it's like riding a bike. Once you put the helmet on, the visor goes down. That's it. It's showtime, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, that's how I mentally prepare. And it's tough sometimes, right? I mean, let's just be honest. It's being happy all the time. You got to work at it. You really do, you know, especially when situation arises that piss you off at the end of the day. You know, you got to look back and be like, you know, take the good with the bad and make the best out of every situation for sure. And then Daniel Parker says, he says, ha ha ha, your face while chewing it. I bet, Daniel. Yeah. Like I said, I got about 4 bites into it, and I was like, something's seriously wrong right here. Yeah, it's
I'll let you into a little secret, Chris. I've got ADHD as well.
yeah.
So, but I was only diagnosed about 2 years ago. But yeah, it's just a hard thing to live with, but I don't take any meds either. It's just,
I mean,
yeah, personal preference. But
absolutely it is. So I'm big into, like, you know, that it's, listen, I'm not saying that there's not good pharmaceutical drugs out there. I just think that anything that's chemically enhanced, man-made, that, you know, because so I broke my wrist and my leg and all this other crap, right? And of course I had pain pills, right? But then I couldn't shit for like a month, dude. And then it's like, dude, it absolutely killed me. And after that, I was like, I'd rather just deal with it naturally, right? And overcome it versus just being so medicated all the time. It's not a good place to be. You know what I'm saying? ADHD army.
exactly, there's the collaboration.
Dude, we got to make a t-shirt, dude. ADHD army. That is proper, Daniel. Absolutely. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So
Brilliant.
so I love soccer, the real football, right? Not the American handball. Did you watch any other sports besides two wheels?
Yeah, but my sports are a bit more old man. I like snooker. I like darts, football. Nah, it's not really. I watch England when England play World Cup, Europeans, but it's not, football's not for me. But yeah, I'm a bit of a. I think I was probably born at the wrong period of time. I should have been born sort of 10 years earlier, 20 years earlier, you know. And yeah, I don't know where I got it from. Maybe my dad and my uncle, I think. I like to follow snooker and darts, but the bikes, and then ladies volleyball. Don't mind watching that, but
Listen,
but
I'm a huge
that's about it
ladies
for me
volleyball.
sport wise.
Yeah, I'm a lady volleyball man myself. So Daniel Parker says he wants to join us on live. Do you mind if he joins us for a minute?
Not at all, man. Bring him on.
All right, Daniel, look at your Facebook Messenger. Give me 1 second, and I will send you the link, my friend. Let's see. Hang on real quick while I do this.
So Daniel is the mind coach guy, yeah?
The rider mindset coach. Absolute. It's a funny story. So I can't remember if he's the one that reached out to me or I reached out to him first, and we did some Facebook chats there for a little bit. And then since then, man, we just become really good mates, man. Just talk all the time, and told him I wanted to come out there, and he's like, I got you, come on in. And all right, Daniel Parker, mate, I just sent you the link on Facebook Messenger, mate. So all you got to do is open it up, click on it, and I'll bring it right in the studio. Yeah, so the same thing, man. We met on, did some Facebook live videos, introducing ourselves, talking, and ever since then we've just been best mates since, right? It's again, absolute privilege and an honor for sure. So next question, man. PlayStation or Xbox?
Neither. Don't play games.
Oh, okay. I'm a big nerd.
I'm realizing I'm really fucking boring, aren't I?
Absolutely not, man. You're just busy, man. Look, I got one kid, you got three. I couldn't imagine how busy you are. My one keeps me freaking wound up all the time. If I had three of them, I'd have ADHD.
A good wife, mate. A good wife, I think, is the key to it.
Well, you know, my family's my everything. And like I tell people, the main reason why I do this podcast is when I'm not here no more, my son can always go back on Facebook and YouTube and Spotify and all that and watch me and listen to my voice, which I think is very important. That I can leave that behind for him, you know, because I don't have that. It is because when my dad's gone, he don't leave nothing to me but bills and whatever else, you know, that they leave besides a memory. I just wanted to leave kind of a legacy, if you will, right? Maybe one day he might be like, you know what, I want to continue on Pin the Gas, and he might be running the show one day. You never know. Absolutely. You never know. So let me ask you this, Shane. If you can go to dinner with three people, anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would be your guest?
Elvis Presley.
Nice.
Definitely. And I think just for the crack to see what would happen, Rossi and Marquez.
Dude, you get Daniel Parker, mate. What is up?
What's up, Nina? You all right? Am I on?
Yeah, absolutely. You're on.
All right. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Chris, how you doing, bro? Good. Yeah, all right. I'm just trying to sort this out. It'll work. Whatever. It's a very small icon, but yeah. Oh, do you know what? It is a really good show. I was just sitting there and I was just thinking, this is really fun. You know what I mean? I just want to feel that part of this. So sorry if you think I'm jumping on, but yeah, I was just.
No, man,
Chris, you know what I mean? Me and Chris daily. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
you're welcome, dude.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
and you, bud.
Yeah, it's funny. I laughed when you put that comment, Daniel. My face, I'm sure I made a hell of a face when I was doing that black pudding. I was like, what is this? What have you got me into?
I picked him up at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? He'd just flown however long that flight was. And he was full of energy, like saying ADHD and all this, and he was full of energy. 6 o'clock in the morning, and he goes, I said, what do you want to do, Chris? He said, I just want to go for a walk. So we literally played Monopoly, didn't we? We went from Heathrow, I drove from Heathrow, I parked up by the Savoy, and we just went everywhere. I said, well, you want to walk? He went, yeah, I just want to go. So we went Piccadilly, down by the Dorchester, all the back streets. Literally just took him everywhere in London that I could do, and we done it in about 3 hours, didn't we? And then put him on a train and sent him on his way. And then I met you at Cavill about 3 days later. But it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, took him to this cafe. What do you eat for breakfast? I said full English, and he said, all right, I'll have some of that. And he's eating it, and he's going, this is nice, Daniel, bro. And all this, and he ate his black pudding and just stopped chewing. And he's like, what the fuck is this?
That's exactly what I said. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's good fun, yeah. So, yeah. We've just, you know what, you're like Pin the Gas has just grown since then. Do you know what I mean? It's just so much fun, and we talk every week, and everything's just great, isn't it? Everything's going really well.
It is.
And you guys are like the Barmy Army and that. I see you all the time. I see what you're doing and everything, and it's like, wow, these guys are moving. Do you know what I mean? You're making movements going on. So yeah, brilliant, fantastic. Like I said earlier, let's get together. Let's have a chat. Let's do something.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
Yeah,
I'll drop you. Well, Chris will send me your number, and I'll drop you a message, and we'll get hooked up.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
We'll do something together. I'm regularly. I take it you're in London, are you?
I'm in London. Yeah, I live in Kent. I'm in London at the minute, but yeah, I live in Kent. I've moved out to the Kent coast, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm backwards and forwards into London. My kids in London, I'm in Kent, and blah 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 blah.
I'm regularly in Watford, so we can always hook up somewhere. That'd be good. You could take me for breakfast with some black pudding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you'll be sending me pictures. Look what I'm eating. I'll be like, gross. You can keep it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can keep it. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So let me ask you this, Shane. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, BSB Barmy Army?
Where do I see myself, or where would I like to see us? I think there's two different positions, isn't there? I'd like to see us, and this is where Daniel comes in as a positive mind coach. I'd like to see us in a position where, as I said to you earlier on, there as a almost a governing non-profit governing body that handles funding within the paddock for support riders, and not just stuck into the BSB paddock either, to reach out into the NG series and all the right the way down through the ranks to the kids.
Yeah, to the kids. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in as well. So yeah.
That's where I'd like to see us in 5 years.
5 years. How about 3?
3's better than 5, but it's being realistic about it. Whether we'll get there, I don't know. But that I think would be the dream and the goal, and I think the other guys would agree with me as well. The rest of the team. But if you could get to that position, you could, hand on heart, say you've made a real difference to a lot of people over a 5-year period, and you've set them up with a platform to move forward with. So that would be the ideal, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it, man. So beer or wine?
Beer all day long.
All day. Daniel, beer or wine? Neither. Okay.
Gave up drink 18 months ago. Water.
Water. Yeah, dude, I'm a big water. Absolutely a big water drinker. So Shane, let me ask you this. Who's the most famous person you have in your phone for a contact?
Are we talking just phone numbers, or are we talking Facebook and social media?
Your personal phone. Who's the most famous person you have right here? I could pick up and be like,
Chris,
what's
Chris
up,
SIM
mate?
card.
Oh,
I don't know. Probably Ron Haslam.
Ron Haslam.
Oh, yeah.
What a legend. Absolute legend. Yes.
I was talking about him today. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Chris, if you're here in 25, I will take you to meet Ron and sit down and have some conversations, because that guy will have you laughing non-stop. The guy back in the day, that guy was a fucking lunatic, and he's not much better now, but in a good way.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I've been a huge fan of the Rocket Ron Haslam, dude. Listen, I grew up in this sport. I know all them guys, not personally, but yes, I absolutely would be an absolute honor. Matter of fact, when me and Daniel did the grid walk, I was going to approach Leon, but dude, he had this so serious face on. I was like, yeah, I don't want to even get in within that whole aura he's putting out, right? He needs to focus on what he's doing. But
I was talking about this today, Chris. I was talking about this today with someone. It was one of them times. It was, Ron Haslam, one of my racing heroes. And when we was doing that grid walk, you was away somewhere with your phone and whatever, and I was just laughing. And I think Leon had pole that race, and Ron Haslam just had his hands behind his back, and he was just leaning up against the wall. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I just nodded like that, and he nodded at me, and I turned around, and I was like, Ron Haslam just fucking nodded at me.
Right?
I tell you what, Chris. They are one of the nicest families you will ever meet. Having worked with them last year, I literally, by the end of the season last year, Steve and I would go back to their house, just walk in the kitchen, make your own coffee, make a sandwich, and just will not let you leave without feeding you first. And they're just, the whole family is a lovely family to be around. They're really good, caring people.
Yeah, I've been a huge fan of Leon for a long time, and he almost won the British Superbike champion. And man, what year was that? I was is in
2017.
yeah, yep, 2017. And it's good to see that he's back with BMW this year too, as well. So
Yeah, man,
yeah,
and it's a Rocket Haslam team this year.
yep, it is. Absolutely, it is. It is. So, listen, this is one of my favorite questions that people that are in the TT just like me, because I'm a huge nerd when it comes to the TT, right? So, in your opinion, and there's a lot of names on this list, but I'm only going to give you two names, right? And you got to pick between the two. In your
Okay.
opinion, who had the greatest TT comeback in history, right? So, I'm going to give you John McGuinness or Mike Hellwood.
Well, I'm going to say John McGuinness because Mike Hellwood's a bit before my time. But what can you say about John McGuinness? King of the mountain, isn't he? You know, it's taken a long time for someone to come with the potential to take that title away from John McGuinness. And I think that's been found in Peter Hickman. And I think he'll probably do it. But I don't know. I think to a lot of people, John McGuinness will always be king of the mountain.
Yeah, McGuinness, he's absolute legend. Man, dude, it's so I love the TT. I love everything about it. I'm such a huge fan of everybody there. It's hard for me to say that I absolutely have a favorite TT rider because they're all amazing at what they do, and they all bring their own little element to the TT, right? You know, Hickey, first 136. It's like, fuck, dude, how much faster is it going to get, right? Soon we're going to see 140 and you're just fucking mind blown, right? And then you got Michael Dunlop, first 130-mile-an-hour lap on a 600. And this year he's got the opportunity to match Uncle Joey or beat Joey. This year's going to be absolutely amazing as far as the TT goes. And I have nothing but respect for all those guys. But to me, the most nuts out of everybody at the TT is the monkey on a sidecar. Those are just, bro, I watched them and I'm like, you just absolutely just a whole nother level when it comes to that, right? The solo guys, they're legends too, but the monkeys, man, is just, I couldn't imagine holding on, dude, on the G forces and the lefts and the rights and all the body position. It's almost like, it's not almost, I take it back. It is the driver and the monkey. It's got to be one, like a marriage, right? Like I could just look at you, know what you're thinking. I could, you know, it's such a special race of the year, and I'm glad to see it still going.
Me too, man.
Hope it continues for many, many.
I've got to let you know, man, because I'm on my phone. I'm not at home. I've got like 7% of battery left on my phone. So I'm just letting you know because we've been on a long time and I don't want it to just cut off and you think I've disappeared on you. But no. I'm happy to keep going, but I've only got 7% of battery left. So.
All right. Listen, no worries. On that note, I know it's late. So Shane, do me a favor. Give all your shout outs to everybody you want to give a shout out to. Absolutely.
Where do I start? I mean, firstly, he's going to be Steve Thomas, one of my best friends, lifelong friends who started this with me. John Doughty on the admin team, Ryan Kirk, the photographer that we have on the admin team, Craig O'Harris, Trudy McDowell, who looks after the books for us, all of the Haslams for last year, you guys, and all of the fans and every single person in the paddock every year, and anyone who's contributed to us in any way. It's everybody's wonderful, man. You know, when you're talking bikes, there's nobody I can't give a shout out to.
That's right. That's right. So tell everybody how they can actually get in touch with you and sign up on BSB Barmy Army and become part of the group.
Really easy, man. The group, Facebook group, BSB Barmy Army. And then we've got the website as well. If you want to donate or you want to go on there and have a look at what we're about and what we've done so far, it's www.bsbbarmyarmy.com. All the information's on there. All the links for the socials are on there, for Instagram, WhatsApp, everything's on there. And if you struggle to find that, just message Chris. He's given his phone number out so he can get inundated with messages and point you in the right direction.
Absolutely, I will. That's absolutely. And then listen, we got it up right here. I'm gonna pull it up. Boom. There it is, everybody. Just go to the website, sign up, donate, help everybody out in BSB in the sport, because
Perfect.
God knows everybody in there absolutely needs some help. But yeah, listen, it's been an absolute honor, Shane. We will definitely get together and do this again. Obviously, we got each other's numbers, so I will shoot you a message tomorrow. Well, I'll wait till you get home and settled in, and then yeah, we'll definitely take it from there. But before I get off here, I actually got to give my shout outs to, first of all, RD Racing, Jake Marsh and Pete Marsh. Absolutely lovely guys. He has got some spots left on Club 45. You guys go out there and help him out. Big shout out to my man Cameron Frazier, GP2 championship last year in 2023. My man Martin from the Clothing Kings. You guys can go there. Not Shane and Daniel, but everybody listening can go there and buy all the Pin to Gas podcast merch you want: hats, t-shirts, beanies, all that good stuff. Big shout out to my man Daniel Park on here, rider mindset coach. He's helping so many people out. You guys look him up on Facebook too as well, and get in touch. I can't even talk right now. Get in touch with him, man. There's so many people that I got a list, dude. I need to sit down and write a list, because I'd be like you, Shane. I'd be on here for like 15 minutes giving all these shout outs. But
Exactly, man.
yeah, it's everybody. You know who you are at BSB and Moto America. I love all you guys. I fully support every single one of you guys, and it's nothing but much love to everybody. I appreciate everybody that watches, and yeah, likes and comments on Pin to Gas, and it's been an absolute honor. Daniel, it's brilliant to see you, mate. We need we need to line one up for me and you.
Yeah. Chris, I'm up for about the next 5 hours, bro. So if you want to carry on, if you want to give me a call after this, we'll have a chat.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go in here and actually eat me some dinner, because I got one more podcast. I'm actually a guest on a podcast that I got to do here in a little bit. But yeah, I'll definitely.
All right, listen. Let me jump out of here then. Let me say see you later. So Shane, see you later on, right? We'll get together. We'll have a chat, and I'm sure we'll see each other in the paddock at some point soon. Benzie this weekend, by the way. Benzie, your season's kicking off.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I've got a couple of riders out this weekend. Who have I got? Aaron Lilly and Adam Fruin, my top man. Jake Marsh was going to race, but he's picked up an injury, so we're going to give him some time off. In the meantime, yeah, I'll speak to you in a minute, Chris, all right?
Absolutely, mate. And listen, thank you guys so much. Go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all that good stuff. Please like and subscribe, because it helps me out a whole lot. It really does. I don't get no money from it, but dude, it really helps me out. Shane's phone died. I figured it did. Craigo, thank you so much, dude. Thank you for everybody that commented and liked this. This episode will be out tomorrow on Spotify and everywhere else you actually listen to the podcast. But listen, nothing but love. There you go. There it is to everybody. I appreciate you guys so much. Absolutely, man. And yeah, I'll talk to you here shortly, Daniel.
Yeah, give you a minute. All right, bro. See you later.
Absolutely. See you, mate.
See ya.